Hey, good afternoon, everyone. A very, very happy Mother's Day to all of you. I'm only coming on now because I waited till Gurney finished her very special morning where she did a live cooking demo with her mom and all her sisters and sisters-in-law live. They cooked Shabbat, the whole meal through all of them. Anyways, you know they say the story about the 3 Jewish mothers who are sitting in the coffee shop, or 4 Jewish mothers, and one says oi, and the second one says oi vey, and the third one says oi oi oi, and finally the fourth one pipes up and she says, I thought we're not talking about our children today. They say this story, I heard this a long time ago, but it's quite funny, about these 3 Jewish Yiddish mamas, and they're all bragging about their children. Each one is trying to say how amazing their child is, and the first one says, my son is such a boychik. He is so amazing. For my birthday this year, he gifted me the most amazing cruise around the whole world. We traveled to the Caribbean, we traveled to Europe, we traveled to South America. It was just amazing. And the other one says, you think that's a big deal? My son, for my birthday, he bought me that dream house I was dreaming of all my life on the beach in Malibu. And now it's all mine just for my birthday. And the third mother, not to be outdone, says, you think that's amazing? My boychik, my zunalem, my son, every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, he goes to see his therapist. And he spends $750 a session. And he's been doing this for 20 years. And guess what? All he does when he sits with his therapist is speak about me. Look how much he loves me. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. We're always at the center of who are always at the center of their children's lives. Mother's Day is a very special day and a very unique day. And it's different than Father's Day because mothers are different than fathers. And I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you. If you're a mother, if you're a grandmother, and even if not, each and every one of us have a mother. And each and every one of us have a special bond with our mother. And although we celebrate Mother's Day once a year, it's really just a reminder to us that Mother's Day is every day. And that we should think about our mothers and celebrate them every day. And before I start my Dvar Torah, which will focus around mothers, I want to say one thing to you. I think since the day I got married, and of course before, but since I got married, being a father of 10 kids, life could be busy. Maybe I could count on one hand the amount of days I did not speak to my mother. I call my mother every single day, and even if it's just 4 or 5 minutes, 3 minutes, how are you? How was your day? What's going on? How are the kids? My mother telling me if I didn't sleep enough, or if I didn't eat enough, or what I shouldn't do, what I should do. But it's speaking to my mother, and it's the greatest gift I have. And I recommend to all of you that if you still have and are blessed with a mother, that you make sure to pick up that phone every day, no matter how busy you are, and even for 30 seconds, hey Ma, I love you. Because for those of us, those who are listening who unfortunately don't have a mother, they don't have that opportunity anymore. Their mother's not here. But rest assured that even if your mother's not here, she's watching over you, and she knows and she sees the way you live your life, how you're saying I love you every day in the way you lead your life. I want to speak about one of the most remarkable women in Judaism, say a Dvar Torah about her, and then speak a little bit personally today as it is Mother's Day. I told you earlier the month of Iyar is an acronym for Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, which are the 3 patriarchs, and Rachel, one of the matriarchs. There's 4 matriarchs, but we mention one the most. In fact, the rabbis tell us that Rachel is considered the mother of the Jewish people. And that, in fact, the reason why in Judaism on a spiritual level, a person is Jewish if their mother is Jewish, is because of the self-sacrifice that Rachel had for the Jewish people, and that she instilled into every single one of her children to be a Yiddish mama, to have true self-sacrifice, love, and dedication for every single Jew. We all know the story that Rachel was the one that Jacob loved so much. But yet when it came time to bury her, when Rachel passed away suddenly, Jacob buries her Baderech Ba'oid Kivras Lechem in Bethlehem, which is on the road. Have any of you gone to the tomb of Rachel and you see how you have to go through Nablus? It's a very dangerous area, and there's tall walls all over with barbed wire, and you travel all the way off the beaten path. And right there you come to Rachel's tombstone, and you feel your heart beat as you see this special holy place, and you see the words blazing out of Rachel's tombstone that says the following story. You see, let me prefix it. Rachel wasn't buried next to her husband in the tomb of the fathers and mothers, the most holy place in Hebron. And when Joseph comes to his father before his father dies, his father makes him swear and says, tell me that you're going to take me to be buried in the most important place in Hebron. And the rabbi said that Joseph was a little sad, because of course he was going to do this for his father, because he knew how much it meant for his father. But when he knew how much it meant for his father, he only imagined how much it would have been for his mother Rachel to be buried next to her husband Jacob. But she never got the merit. And the rabbis tell us that Rachel sacrificed 2,000 years of laying next to her husband. Why? Because we read in the Haftorah of Rosh Hashanah that when the Jews were exiled to Babylon, the beginning of our first exile from Jerusalem, and they were taken in chains, and so many were murdered and killed, the rabbis say that the Jews came by. On the way they passed through the tombstone of Rachel. And the Jewish people went and they wept at their mother's grave, crying, Rachel, help us. And it says that Rachel, as we read in the Haftorah of Rosh Hashanah, Rachel goes up to her father in heaven and she screams, how could you do this to my children? Look how much they are suffering. And God tells Rachel the famous words that are emblazoned on her tombstone, and that gives so many Jewish people this tremendous sense of awe and closeness to their mother Rachel. That says, God says, Rachel mevakal b'nei, Rachel is crying for her children. And what does God answer her? Yesh schar le'pa'uloi sayich, Rachel, there is going to be reward to your effort. You're sitting here by the throne of glory by God and crying for your children. Your cries will not go unheard. V'yesh tikva la'achrei sayich, there is hope for the future of the Jewish people. Vishavu banim ligvulam, the Jewish people will return to the Holy Land. They will return to a time of redemption. Those words of Yesh schar le'pulei sayich, those cries of Rachel, Rachel mevakal b'nei, Rachel is crying for her sons, is the cries of so many Jewish mothers as they cry for their children, as they pray and hope for the success of their children, for the happiness of their daughters, of their sons, of their grandchildren, for the love of their families. And every Jewish mother has that moment, has that time when they are crying and they are yearning for the best for their children. And through our mother Rachel, God says, Yesh schar le'pulei sayich v'tikva la'achrei sayich, there is going to be reward for the efforts that a mother puts into her children, for the cry that she gives, for the hope that she yearns for. Yesh tikva la'achrotayich, there's hope for your ending. And that's why the Jewish people, when they think about the Yiddish mama, they think about Rachel, because they think about the self-sacrifice that she had for her people, for her nation, for her children. She gave up everything of her own, being buried with Jacob for 2,000 years, to be on the road, off the beaten path, when her children are taken to exile, and to be able to say, I'm holding your hand. How many of us could think about the most difficult moments in our life? The day we waited to find out if we're going to get into our college of choice, or the day we got rejected. The day we broke up with our first girlfriend or boyfriend and came home feeling down. The day we lost our first job or got fired. Or the day, heaven forbid, something sad happened to us. And we always knew that we could come to our mom and she will hold our hand. And she will give us hope. She will give us love. She will give us courage. That's the Yiddish mama that Rachel embedded and instilled in every single Jewish mother. And that's the Jewish mother that we celebrate today and we celebrate every single day. Not so much by just doing something special one day, by living, by mimicking who our mothers were and being the best we could be and making them proud. And I think about in my life, I think about my grandmother Necha that I never knew, who was murdered at the young age of 37, the most beautiful mother of 12 children, who lived in Jerusalem and was killed by Jordanian terrorists, robbed from witnessing her children grow up. But till today, my father, who was one of 3 people who witnessed it, till today my father says that his mother's piercing Shema Yisrael, the last word she said before she passed away, as the shrapnel hit her head and she was bleeding, she screamed Shema Yisrael. And with my father that lives today, till today, and every time he speaks about it, he chokes up. And as I told you, when I brought my kids there this summer, all 10 of us, 10 of my children plus us and my parents went to that place and we knocked on the door and my father told the kids the story. My Bubby Necha lives on with us and with my daughter who's named after her. My Bubby Batsheva, who was such a holy woman, who nurtured my mother after my grandfather passed away when my mother was 2, and gave her so much love, so much optimism, and so much faith. And I knew her well. She lived in our home for 10 years, and I remember her so fondly. And the warm person she was, full of hope, full of love, full of Judaism. And of course, to my mother, may she live till 120, who is a remarkable mother of 8, who as a young immigrant came to America and persevered, and together with my father built the most beautiful family that I'm so grateful for. And to my wife, who is a mother of 10 children, the Rebbetzin of a community, and gives so much love and courage and hope. And to her mother, my mother-in-law, who gave us the greatest gift in my life, to my dear wife. But I want to speak about one more woman. And I want you to think about all the great women in your life today as we celebrate Mother's Day. But this woman is the Rebbetzin Chaim Mushka, the late wife of the Rebbe of blessed memory, who had no children. Yet, she sacrificed her life for thousands of Hasidim, of the Rebbe's followers, and women all over the world, and men all over the world. And although she had no physical children, she has so many, thousands, tens of thousands of spiritual children like us and our family. Our daughter Mushka is named after her. And so are tens of thousands of Mushkas all over the world. And although the Rebbetzin had no children, we all say Happy Mother's Day to her for the sacrifices that she made to give us the Rebbe and the years that we were able to have with him and with her. And with that, I will conclude Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, to the remarkable mothers to be, and to those mothers that are not with us anymore, but have done so much for who we all are today. Let us celebrate the Yiddish mama, the love, the sacrifice, the Rachel crying for her children, the reward that God gives her, the hope that she gives her children, and God promises her. May God give hope to all of us, and healing and redemption, and may we all be reunited with our loved ones, with the ultimate redemption. May it happen speedily in our days. Have a great Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.